Hey, this is Julie. This was another fun conversation. If you don't know her, you will soon. Christy Westhuizen, Senior VP of Sales and Marketing for Legend Senior Living. She and I have known one another for several years. She's always a delight. She's a great leader. And she's just back from a long trip to South Africa. So she talks a little bit about that, which is really cool. And being away from the office and out of the country for 3 weeks, and how she navigates that. And it just kind of morphed into a conversation about leadership and giving away the goal of giving away your job. It's kind of a scary topic for some. There's a growth with a leader with a growth mindset, which she is definitely one. We're always looking to, or should be looking to, give away our job because we can't grow until we pass our job on to someone else or others. So sit back or don't sit back if you're driving. But thanks for listening and enjoy this episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast.
We'd like to thank Advantage Anywhere for sponsoring this episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. At Advantage Anywhere, we understand senior living communities. Our customizable CRM and automation system is designed to help you convert more leads into move-ins faster, easier, and with less manual effort. With personalized follow-up automations, your team can focus on what matters most, spending time with prospects to get more move-ins. Visit www.advantageanywhere.com to see how we can help you get more move-ins with less stress.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. I am Julie Podewitz and thrilled to have back on the show one of my favorites, Christy Westhuizen. Christy.
Hi, Julie. Very happy to be here.
So happy to have you. Someone asked me yesterday how many podcasts we've recorded, and it's over 150. Yes. And you were one of the very, very first, maybe even single digits guests, and here you are back at 150.
Triple digits.
Triple digits. Oh my gosh. So Christy Westhuizen is the Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Legend Senior Living, based in beautiful Wichita, Kansas.
That's right.
All right. And so tell us a little bit about Legend Senior Living, Christy.
Sure. So based in Wichita, and yes, this California girl moved from Southern California to Wichita, Kansas about 2 years ago for this position. So we operate 65 independent living, assisted living, and memory care communities in the Midwest, but also East Coast. And it's been a wonderful journey of growth. When I got here, we were just above 40 communities. So we have grown 50% in the past 2 years. So it has been a growth journey, and honestly, a really fun one. So and we're not stopping at 65.
Well, that's fantastic. And so the continuum is the independent, assisted, and memory care.
Yes.
Yeah, when you said 65, you answered my question. That's quite a bit of growth.
Absolutely, yeah. So when I got here, we were 42. And that was it. It was a lot, and so we found some really great strategic partnerships to grow our footprint, and we're growing a lot in Pennsylvania, in Florida, as well as some other states. So it's been an awesome experience so far.
I know you travel a lot, and speaking of travel, well, you just got back from a major trip to a personal one. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So just got back about a week and a half ago from a 3-week trip to South Africa.
Wow.
And we were in Johannesburg for a little bit of time, but also Knysna which is on the coast in between Cape Town and Durban for 2 weeks. Now, this was not a typical vacation, like not a typical safari. My husband is born and raised in South Africa, and so his entire family is still in South Africa. So I would say it was about 25% doing all the touristy things, like hanging out with rescued elephants or going on a horseback safari. So it was about 25% doing the really cool South African things, and then 75% hanging with the family, going to the mall, doing puzzles and drinking wine with the sisters-in-law. So hanging out at the pool. No, so I think that it was an amazing trip, and we're already planning our next one. It
Oh my
won't be for
God.
quite some time, because 3 weeks
Yeah.
is a long time. But we love his family, and can't wait to be back.
So, that sounds amazing, and not many of us go for 3 weeks at a time. I know you certainly don't, and this was a really a one-off situation.
Right.
But some listening to this, and I have to kind of admit myself too, Christy, when you said 3 weeks, A, little envious, but B, a little bit like, huh, how do you go away? And you were not down the street, right? I mean, you're
No.
right. So let's talk on the professional side. Leaving for 3 weeks,
Yeah.
not everyone could feel comfortable doing that,
Right. Right.
leaving their team.
Yeah. I felt 100% comfortable leaving them. I think when you have the right team in place, and you've really primed them for success and helped them grow and develop, they will figure it out. And so I actually let them know that I was not going to be checking emails during this trip. And by the way, it had been 6 years since we had seen my husband's family.
Oh,
So
wow.
that also adds an element of we needed to be present the whole time. So I let the team know that I wouldn't be checking emails. If they absolutely needed something, I was going to have Wi-Fi so they can text me. But I kid you not, they did amazing without me. And we actually, in fact, grew occupancy while I was gone. Yeah,
Impressive.
so my dreams came true. We grew occupancy while I was gone in South Africa, and I did check in once or twice with a couple pictures of me with the elephant or me with a monkey, just saying, "Hey, how's it going?" And they all said, "It's going well. Have a wonderful time," and business was able to be continued. And so I think that that's just, again, a sign. My entire goal, Julie, I don't want to talk myself out of a job, but my goal as a leader is to become obsolete. I don't want team members to feel like they have to get permission to make a decision, or that they have to run every single idea by me, because I don't want to be the bottleneck. So to empower teams and to really let them know, hey, I trust you. That's a big statement. I trust you. I trust your judgment. You will do a fantastic job while I'm gone.
Mhm.
And you know what? They did. They did. I couldn't be happier.
Christy, uh, the, this for not only did they survive, but they
And thrive.
thrived. They did better without you.
Yeah, I know.
I took notes. I just want to say kudos to the legend team, but really it's
Dude.
the leadership. I'm an avid reader. I know you are as well, and someone who's always thirsty to learn. You who sits in the front row of every conference, but
Yep.
which I absolutely love. I admire that so much. The book that I'm reading right now is, speaks to leadership of let's say the signs of a good leader. But one is, if you want to grow as a person, but in your profession, in whatever position you are, position is not an important issue here. It's making yourself obsolete. What do you do in whatever position you are? So you walk away, you can walk away, and you should be able to walk away. If your business, you're a sales director at a community, and your business can't survive, you doing outreach, can't survive. Tours aren't gonna continue if I'm out sick. you're doing something, there's a gap there, okay? Something wrong, right? Or if you feel like I'm the only one, you mentioned, I don't want to be the bottleneck. If
Yeah.
you're the only one that can do X, Y, Z, and you have special skills, and everyone does, but that to me is a sign of a great leader. Is to is working yourself out of a job in
Yeah,
essence.
I also think that one of our goals, and one of my personal goals, but one of the goals of the company is to create a self-motivating, self-correcting sales team. And our goal is not for a regional sales director or me to come into a building and point out something. We teach people how to self-evaluate and then raise their hand and say, hey, I actually noticed this thing. Hey, regional sales director, can you help me with it? So it's creating this, I kind of think of it as like a sales wheel, like it's self-propelling, self-correcting, maybe helping them or helping themselves self-correct, but it's creating this machine that you don't have to poke. It actually works really well on its own, but you have to do a lot of the work up front.
100%.
So, yeah.
100%.
Again, setting expectations, helping teams learn how to evaluate themselves. Like what conversion rates do they need to look at? Truly, what does success look like? So then they can self-correct before someone like me or a regional sales director comes and then says, hey, this is something's funny about this. My goal is that they tell me, a sales director tells me, hey, something's funny about this. Can you help? So again, my goal is not to find all the little issues. I'm hoping that people are noticing the issues first and then bringing them to me because we've taught them how to evaluate and look at reports to notice holes or funny things that they need support on. So that's how we're creating. I want to be obsolete, but I still want a job. A job is very important. But
yeah. Got a daughter who's going to be well, she'll be doing loads and loads. She is doing loads of things. She'll be in college pretty soon. For those of you listening, she's not that soon. She's about 10 years old.
9.
9.
She's very tall for her age, so she looks much older.
Well, maybe that's the secret to my youth. I'm not quite 5 feet tall. Haha. But I was thinking about when you were saying, Christy, why is it that think about why do people work out in front of a mirror? Is it vanity? I don't think so. You're self-evaluating, right? Like you know how to do a curl or a person or a squat, but you're looking in the mirror to adjust because you can feel your own body or you could glance down. And if you have a literal mirror in front of you, it's simpler. We don't work per se in front of a mirror, although some people say do your phone calls, your call outs, with a mirror in front, which I think is kind of cool advice. But the mirror in this scenario would be, like you said, it's the wheel, and it's getting the wheel established. First got to build the wheel, right?
Yeah.
And then you get your playbooks and your standard operating procedures, your workflows, your expectations. Okay, we got the wheel, and then getting it going. That's then the mirror, because how do you evaluate unless you know what you're evaluating?
Right. And what you're looking for.
Right. Like how are these questions that are, how are you doing on your calls? Good. I mean, if you how are things going? Good. Yeah, good. That X, that's why numbers, they are important. So if it's 10, 20, whatever it is, you can say I have 2 and it's 20, then there's that. And I'm sure you have other. Well, let me ask you, what types of tools, can you give an example of, like you said, we give them these evaluation points. What does that look like?
Okay, well, we actually created because there's a lot of different things that we do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly as sales directors at the community level. So one thing that we put together is a sales director behaviors of success two-sided, okay, I would have loved for it to be one-sided, but there are quite a few little nuances that ended up. It's a front and back sheet that is just everything that we expect. These are, if you want to be successful, these are the behaviors of success.
Oh, I love it. Like a cheat sheet almost.
Yeah. And we actually created little like boxes next to it. Now, I'm not expecting someone to check off the list every single day, but then that eliminates the, well, I didn't know. I didn't know that I was supposed to do that, or I didn't know I need to pull that report weekly just to check to make sure I'm on target to meet my XYZ goals. So that was, I think that one was really, really key, because there was just so much uncertainty of like, what is expected of me? And I think like one of the kindest things that you can do as a leader is set the expectations from day one of a new person's job. Because if you don't, then it becomes that much harder to re-establish what those expectations are. So we wrote them down. And again, it was a lengthy list, but that way we know what sales directors, their expectation is on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And a lot of it, Julie, is not necessarily make this amount of phone calls or do this amount of outreach. There's some that I actually, one thing that I just love to do is get sales director input. So it's not just Christy's list of expectations. It's, okay, what do sales directors, and these are high achieving, top producing sales directors, what is missing from this list? And it was so cool because Nikki O'Brien in Florida in Palm Coast said, we need some behaviors of success about positive attitude and optimism and being a proud representative of the company and be the type of person that you would want to work with. And I thought, okay, that is a behavior of success, is being chief belief officer of your community.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, it is making people's days brighter because you're in them. But getting it all down on a piece of paper was the start of us figuring out, okay, really, how do we create this, again, self-propelling sales wheel? Was just what does success look like for us, and writing it down on a piece of paper. And it's cool. I still look back and look at it and I'm like, okay, has anything changed?
Right.
Do we need to update it? And the answer might be yes, but it's a pretty good intro of what success looks like for us.
And I'm sure that, asking for others' inputs, that's another sign also of a great leader, which I hear, to check out, to tell you how great you are, although I would do that all day anyway, but no, it's truly is that, that we're, open, and we, not only are we open to feedback, it's absolutely critical, because raise your hand if you know everything. And, someone was saying, hey, your business is, you started your business over 4 years ago. I'm like, actually, I truly do believe I started like this morning. To me, it's like, it just every day is like, okay, because what are you going to learn? Who are you going to meet? Oh, shoot. You know what? This was an error in last year, and now we're doing it this way. Right. Yeah. So I would think that, Christy, that you asking for feedback, and not only asking for it, but really valuing it, and then adding it to your workflows and
Sure.
things, people have to feel seen and heard, right? And part of the team. And doesn't that tie into one of your, I love this, behaviors of success, which is what did you say? Be a work in a place that you're, really proud of. Be that model of you're proud of where you work.
Right. Yeah. Be that person that you would want to work with.
Be the person you'd want to work with.
Right. Right. Is that someone who's complaining and wears a scowl on their face? And no, I want to work with positive, upbeat people who bring new ideas to the table. That's the kind of person that I want to work with. So by golly, that's the kind of person I'm going to be.
I
Yeah.
love that. You bring up such a good point, and my takeaway from today is that you're these expectations, accountability, the words that are used frequently because they're important, can come across to some like, just real like expectation and, holding people accountable doesn't come across positive for a lot of people. Or the word discipline, people, I don't want to, but they're important for a reason, but they really inclusive of, or not exclusive to, be the person you'd like to work with. It's like, oh, no, it's not just 100 calls and, you need to do this so that, and again, those are necessary, but they're things that maybe we take for granted or we assume.
Sure.
When you say like, here's the thing, be punctual, be on time, be the first one on the Zoom call, or don't ever be the last one in the meeting, right? And you think that why would you need to put down expectations? But, maybe that's
Because, if they don't know that that's an expectation, shame on us for not letting them know. Yeah. So totally agree. And honestly, I learned so much from sales directors. Just did a sales training an hour ago, and we talked about high performing sales directors and what tips they would give to people just on the cusp of success. And I feel like I learned so much from that sales training that I was not teaching anything. I was actually opening up the floor for people to share their ideas. And what was really cool was that executive directors were on the call. They were the first ones to give advice on occupancy building. Was that the coolest?
Say that again. Oh my gosh. Well, look, you're working yourself out of that job too.
I know. Yeah.
Next time you go a trip, it's gonna be 6 weeks.
Yeah. Yes.
6
Julie
weeks.
says.
100%. And I'm going too, because I'm working myself out of a job as well. I got the plan, and because every single person has has their sweet spot. And what do you do best that yields the greatest result? It's that, and then you do more of that, and then pass other things, or perhaps not, or perhaps let that go, or maybe someone else could pick that up, or if you're in a business sense, hire someone. You're much better off hiring and take this off, and then you're focusing, right? You can't once and ahead grow your business by 50%, and that's massive, massive.
Yeah.
By kind of, Christy, you're gonna have to dig in and work just a little bit harder.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to work 1.5 times harder. Just A, you can't, and B, that wouldn't yield, right? So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. What, 2 questions.
Okay.
Well, the first one is, in closing, because I know we're running out of time here, but for people listening who think, oh yeah, I'd like to work myself out of a job too, and move on to that next, move on, move up, move on, move over, move up, teach others, right? What advice would you give to just get started or continue on the journey?
Absolutely. I think being approachable and relatable goes a very, very long way. Being open for feedback, whether it's positive or negative, or constructive, but being approachable and relatable is, I think, one of a superpower that I think that I'm lucky that I have. So that's what I would recommend, is being very approachable and relatable when you're growing your leadership.
So that might come naturally to you. I don't know if it does. It seems like it does. You're very approachable, very, likable, relatable. What what if I'm feeling like maybe I don't know if I'm approachable. How might I
Sure.
get there a little bit? What advice?
Do discovery with your people, being curious. I think that, again, that is one thing that I have learned tremendously from you is being curious about others. It's a way to show your interest and your desire to help them. So if you're curious about your own people, I think that goes a really long way. Being interested in who they are, not just as salespeople or not just as employees, but as people.
Mhm. People like and relate when you are liking and relating. 100%.
Yeah.
And the second question, much, much more important, although that was a very important one, but what was Delilah's favorite thing about South Africa?
Oh, easy. Cousins.
Oh, and for Delilah's your 9-year-old
Yep.
daughter.
Yep.
It's so cousin. So you and I have something in common, very important. We are mothers of, well, the best daughters in the whole world.
Absolutely.
I'm a single, a mom of one child who's a daughter. You're a mom
Yep.
of one child who's a daughter.
Yep.
And that's something that we share and relate to. So this same, we don't, so she was with her cousins. And her cousins live pretty far away, and she doesn't. So when they met or re-met, was it like bing, right off the bat?
Oh, yeah. It was amazing chemistry. Now, again, they annoyed each other a lot too. But hey, cousins, that's what we do. And then we love each other anyways. So, but just being with the cousins was just her favorite part.
Mm. That must have made you feel really. You're
Oh,
smiling when you said your face is lighting up when you're
yeah.
talking about it.
It
Oh,
it was an amazing experience. Yeah.
I'm happy for you. Well deserved. Christy, thank you for taking time out of your incredibly, incredibly busy day and life to talk to us and to share your experiences, knowledge, and wisdom. For everyone listening to the Grow Your Occupancy podcast, thanks for waiting to the end. Like, share, subscribe. It really does help others find Christy and the other amazing, amazing professionals that share their expertise on our podcast. Thank you again. Thank you, Christy.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me, Julie.
My pleasure.
We'd like to thank Advantage Anywhere for sponsoring this episode of the Grow Your Occupancy podcast. At Advantage Anywhere, we understand senior living communities. Our customizable CRM and automation system is designed to help you convert more leads into move-ins faster, easier, and with less manual effort. With personalized follow-up automations, your team can focus on what matters most, spending time with prospects to get more move-ins. Visit www.advantageanywhere.com to see how we can help you get more move-ins with less stress.